Was my impression.
Come on through, guys.
I know, it's real life.
What's going on here?
Good morning, everyone. Hello. Thank you for being here today to witness the bill signing for the New Jersey Transit Reform Bill. My name is Jennifer Green. I live in Morris County, New Jersey, and I'm a train commuter. I'm here today on behalf of all New Jersey Transit commuters who depend on trains, light rail, and buses to get to work every day. Yes, we definitely use NJ Transit for recreation too, but fundamentally, this mass transit system exists to move millions of us to and from our jobs every year. That makes it possible for commuters to participate in New Jersey's economy and to enjoy the quality of life that we have in our beautiful state. I take the train to work to my job in Hoboken almost every day. My husband does the same. My daily commute round trip is about 2.5 hours. That means I'm on the train 12.5 hours a week, about 50 hours a month, and about 600 hours a year. And that's if everything runs smoothly. Unfortunately, more often than not, we face issues of delays, of random stops, and even rainwater sloshing overhead in the light fixtures. I mention these frustrating day-to-day events because it's not right that this is our normal way of getting to work every day. It's not right that we've all paid a lot for this broken system. It's not like we can all just decide to drive to work every day instead of using NJ Transit, because we live in the most densely populated state in the country. Our highways and roads can't absorb that volume of cars. So what we need, and what we're seeing here today, is the building of a responsive and reliable NJ Transit. The biggest problem has been that there really wasn't anyone at NJ Transit who would really listen to commuters or even care what we had to say. We didn't matter, and nothing ever changed. That's what makes today so amazing. Leaders from the legislature, along with the governor, have accomplished a great thing in passing this NJ Transit Reform Bill. So I want to thank every one of you on behalf of commuters. I especially want to give Governor Murphy even more praise for his commitment to NJ Transit and its potential to deliver outstanding service. Even though this reform bill will not directly solve all of the schedule and equipment problems, we know that. It's the right step at the right time. What it will do is it'll change who has a say in the strategy and the decision-making day-to-day at NJ Transit. Train and bus commuters will have a seat at that table, and this massive mass transit system will become accountable to all of us. This is a great day. It's my pleasure to witness this bill signing, and it's my even greater honor to introduce Governor Phil Murphy.
Thank you, well done. Really well done. Thank you, Jennifer. Can we make sure we keep Edwin, can I ask you to come over maybe this side? I want to keep that alleyway open. The last thing we need to do is alienate commuters right now. A little bit at odds with why we're here today. Exactly. Good morning, everybody, and welcome again to the Summit train station, a place where we've met before. Thank you, Jennifer. Where'd you go? Jennifer, right behind us. Let's hear it one more time for Jennifer. Really well done. Thanks for your very kind introduction, and most importantly, for your advocacy today and every day on behalf of your fellow NJ Transit riders. So much of our administration's first year has been committed to getting the system to work for you, and today we're taking a big step with the signing of much-needed reforms. I'm honored to be with a veritable galaxy of not just senior legislators, both sides of the aisle, I might add, but also local and county officials. To give some shout-outs, I want to say I'm always happy to be with Senate Majority Leader and Loretta Weinberg. You'll hear from her in a moment. Senate Minority Leader Tom Kean, Assemblymen John McKeon and Dan Benson, Assemblywoman Pat Jones, who have been leaders in the legislature on behalf of our commuters. They are in turn joined in this effort by Assembly Minority Leader John Bramnick, Assemblywomen Mila Jacey and Nancy Munoz, who are with us. I also want to acknowledge former Senator, a guy who I met under the star of Transportation and Infrastructure, Bob Gordon, is in the House. Congressman-elect, and you'll hear from him in a few moments, the singular Tom Malinowski is with us. Tom, great to have you. I'm almost there. I'll get you guys in a second. I also want to recognize in row 2, ATU President Ray Greaves, Ron Sable from NJ Smart, and Janet Chernitz from Tri-State Transportation Campaign. Thank you, folks, for always being with us. Doug O'Malley and other Dave Pringle and other environmental interests are here. And we can never forget one of the great benefits of getting the rail side and a clean bus side of NJ Transit at its punching weight is it takes cars off the road, and that's good for the environment. We're in the 4th smallest state in America and the most densely populated state in America. Getting this right will matter, so it's good to have you guys with us. Always a pleasure as well to be with the Commissioner of the Transportation and NJ Transit Board Chair Diane Gutierrez-Scacchetti is in the house. NJ Transit Executive Director Kevin Corbett is with us. Kevin, great to have you. We got a passel of Union County freeholders with us today. Thank you, folks, for being here. Mayor Nora Radist is here. Mayor, thank you for being here and hosting us. So there's a reason why we're all here in Summit. It was here last winter, where I signed an executive order for a comprehensive audit of NJ Transit so that we could have in black and white not simply a listing of its shortcomings, but also a listing of ways to get this system, which nearly 1 million of our residents rely upon every day, back working for its customers. I stand firmly not just on the side of NJ Transit riders, but also by their side, as I often take NJ Transit myself to get around the state. No one has been tougher, as Diane and Kevin can attest, in pushing NJ Transit to instill a customer-focused mindset more than I have. I've made it clear that we will measure success in terms of the customer experience and improving that experience, from on-time performance to communications, to the conditions riders find throughout the system, whether it be bus or rail. I would think on that list of conditions that are unacceptable, Jennifer, that water sloshing around in the light fixtures is probably high on that list. On a parallel track, and this is important, the legislature was working on comprehensive legislation to fully reform NJ Transit's governance and management, and the bill was a strong start. The results of our audit allowed us to make it even stronger. And today I'm proud to put my signature on it and make it law. And again, this is one, by the way, where it really worked. The legislature was pursuing their reform bill. We had initiated the audit, and both sides spoke. We communicated, and we made the ultimate result, I think, much stronger. It was already strong. It's even stronger. In one sentence, this reform puts into law the simple concept that NJ Transit works for commuters and not the other way around. This begins by expanding the NJ Transit Board of Directors from 8 to 13 members, ensuring that both bus and rail commuters have one of their own among its members. This is essential for ensuring the viewpoints of riders are heard and taken seriously. And 4 existing seats will be reserved specifically for transportation policy experts. But beyond just its composition, this board will carry with it a new mindset of responsibility and duty to commuters. Before undertaking major service changes or raising fares, the board will have to hold real, honest-to-goodness hearings with actual board members present. No more sham hearings held at odd hours when commuters are at work and unable to attend, or hearings where commuters speak only to a row of empty chairs. In addition, NJ Transit will create a new position of customer advocate to work from inside the agency on ensuring that a customer-focused and commuter-driven mindset educates staff actions and decisions. And NJ Transit's contracting and procurement process will also be streamlined so needed equipment can be gotten more quickly and to ensure a ready inventory of parts so repairs can be done in a timelier fashion and rolling stock can spend less time in the maintenance yard and more time in service. Both are items, by the way, that were recommended in our audit. These reforms will ensure greater oversight by the public and those of us in public office, with a new requirement that NJ Transit's annual revenue and ridership projections also look to the successive year, and that accident and safety performance reports be more regularly disclosed. And employees will be more empowered to report wrongdoing through a robust whistleblower protection program and a dedicated chief ethics officer. These reforms are necessary for ensuring that NJ Transit's mantra of engage, inform, improve is backed up by an organizational structure that allows those words to be realized in every facet of its operations. These reforms are necessary for better customer service and performance and better accountability by NJ Transit to its riders. Meeting our federal requirement on positive train control was a big moment and a positive moment, but it was just one moment. Ongoing train delays and cancellations, which still happen far too often, point to the reality that there is still a lot more work to do. As I've said many times, we're not spiking the football. But with these reforms in place, NJ Transit will be able to focus its energies more efficiently and effectively on improving reliability and service. This has been nothing short of a transformational year for NJ Transit, and we remain committed to getting the system right from the top to the bottom. And I know Diane and Kevin in particular fully share that commitment. We will not let up. That is my promise to the riders of NJ Transit. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Senate sponsor of this measure, Majority Leader Senator Loretta Weinberg.
Well, as usual, this is made for a very tall person. And we didn't bring the box along, undoubtedly. Anyway, I am actually here, for those of you who can't see me. And I am delighted to be here. This has been a long, This has been a long time in coming, and before I give my formal remarks, I want to acknowledge my former colleague, my still good friend, but the person who chaired the hearings out of which much of this bill came, former Senator Bob Gordon. Thank you very much. Since the bill passed, I've made this statement a couple of times. This is not a panacea. The signing of this bill will not make sure that all the trains and buses are operating as fully as they should. But it is a big step forward. It is a step forward for commuters to show that we, the governor, your legislature, have been listening to what you've been saying. We will have a new open, responsive, transparent New Jersey transit, long overdue and owed to the commuters of the state of New Jersey. And I am proud to have played a role in it. I am proud, as I have said on a few occasions, I am proud to have a governor who's got a signing pen, other than the veto pens I collected over the course of 8 years. And to New Jersey Transit and to the governor's staff, it is true, we had a long and very honest negotiation, which I think made this bill better. So I am looking forward to seeing the signing here today. To my co-prime sponsor, or not my co-prime sponsor, to the Assembly sponsor, who chaired with Senator Bob Gordon the hearings that this bill emanated from, Assemblyman John McKeon. Thank you. And this has been a bipartisan effort since the beginning. As we might move from here back into Port Authority reform, I have had a great partner in the Senate on these bills, and that is the Minority Leader, Senator Tom Kean. So thank you for... Thank you for your constant support in these issues. Thank you for welcoming us to your district.
I'm about to welcome you.
Oh, okay. All right, I won't take away your thunder then. And as I said, this is I hope commuters know that we've been listening. This will require some evening board meetings where people who actually go to work every single day will have a place and a time that they can come and share their issues and what their daily life is. And I'm looking forward to seeing the signing. And I want to take another moment to thank the transportation advocates who were here, Jana in particular, who you brought your daughter along today. To see the result of some of her mother's work, to the labor representatives who were also great partners in this, to the transit unions. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your participation. And to our staff, certainly Mark Magyar, I know that all of you are going to be happy not to hear from him for a while. But he's been a steadfast supporter, and his ability to help us get the policy articulated. So again, thank you, Governor Murphy. Thank you to the Assembly sponsors. And thank you, Bob Gordon.
Thank you. Apologies for the omission of the box, Senator. That's my bad. My bad. I want to reiterate something that Loretta just said, which is it's a really good moment for many reasons, including it's a bipartisan moment. So I want to thank John and Nancy and the guy I'm about to introduce. This proves that we're all in this together. We have New Jersey's interests first. It's a lot more important to say that we are proudly from the great state of New Jersey than it is to say what party we're in. And this is a good example of it today. We can both be proud of our party and we can be proud of our state. And today is one of those days. So with that, it's my honor to introduce Senate Minority Leader Tom Kean.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. John Bramnick, Nancy Munoz, and I would like to welcome everybody to the 21st Legislative District. It's an honor to serve these constituents. Madam Mayor, you're doing an extraordinary job. It's great to be with you as well. This is an important bipartisan issue. It's one of the most important things that we can do in government is making sure that our constituents and citizens are safe, that they have a responsible and reasonable and affordable transportation infrastructure, and that is responsive to their needs. For too long, the citizens of New Jersey never had that faith in New Jersey Transit. Whether they were on the light rail, or going by bus, they always knew there'd be a delay. There wasn't effective communication. There wasn't a transparency and an accountability. And whether it was in Union County, in Mercer County, Middlesex County, in Bergen County, For years, people felt that they were not being heard, and that all too frequently that was actually an accurate instance of the case. Well, this issue for years has been an issue of bipartisan focus. And I, too, want to thank both Bob Gordon, because we spent many years together on this issue, on Port Authority issues, and so many things on infrastructure. Loretta Weinberg, who's whispering in the governor's ear right now, for her leadership on this. And it was always about a bipartisan partnership to make sure that this project actually worked and this bill came to fruition. And this governor, whether we've been together here a year ago, whether we were at the other efforts in Middlesex County, has always focused in making sure that this commuter-facing entity is responsive to the people of New Jersey. And it's been a true partnership in that regard. I want to thank him for his leadership, his passion, his dedication. This is a step. It is an important step. We need to make sure that the alternative routes, if there are delays in certain ways, that the communications are improved. But this is an important structural step that would not have been possible without Governor Murphy and the bipartisan support that you see behind you today. And so I want to thank the governor for coming back to District 21 and his leadership on this issue. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It's an honor. Hi. You did. Bless you. Thank you. I love you. So did I, by the way. Thank you, man. I can only imagine somebody walks in the front door, they're late for their train, and they see us here. They say, oh, Jesus, yet another reason I'm pulling my hair out. Thank you, Senator. I appreciate enormously your leadership and, again, the spirit of bipartisanship. As Senator Weinberg has already said, the guy who was in there grinding this with great company, with Pat, Dan, and others, was leading the charge in the Assembly and has been a transportation advocate at his core, and from day one, it's my honor to introduce Assemblyman John McKeon.
Thank you. Governor, by the way, that was my sister that just went by.
And you slipped her a 20.
Listen, thanks to all of you. You know, to my colleagues, you all mean the world to me, especially in the way that we worked so closely together. And this was a unanimous vote. I mean, there's always a few, even if we do things in a bipartisan way, but unanimous. And I'm going to end with that thought, and I promise I won't be long. This is all of my remarks put together. But really, a year ago, just think about it, less than a year ago, 11 months ago, we all stood here, Nance. It was an agency in crisis. And I know it's been much ballyhooed as it related to going from 10% in 7 years from positive train control to 100%. In just 11 months. We know that for every 2 engineers that left this agency, only 1 was hired. Here we are today with our 3rd graduating class that has gone through. So we can talk about all of those facts, which are facts in great progress. But ask our 2 union friends behind us. Talk to the rank and file, the hundreds, the thousands of men and women that are the hardworking people that make up New Jersey Transit, whether from administrators right down to those who are new employees that are on the line. They feel it. They say, wow, we're respected, we're listened to. We are doing better. And in the same way that sea change is felt by our employees, it's going to be felt by the commuters as well. I have every confidence that'll be the case. Now, as we step in with this, the best way to describe this legislation, I think, is transparency and accountability. But to quote my great friend, Senator Weinberg, this isn't a panacea. Look, the sad legacy of an administration past, Governor, is that you're not going to be there this year, certainly as it should have been, to cut the ribbon for the 3rd tunnel, which is what we really need. And Congressman-elect, I'm so thrilled that you're here. Because we really need our federal government, both Republicans, Democrats, and whoever is there, to step up and do what is right, as well as our Port Authority. So let us all resolve to be behind them to do the things that we have to do to make that kind of systemic change. You know, the history is something interesting probably to most all of us that are here. Do you realize that there hasn't been a passenger train run privately that has made money since the 1920s? I'm embellishing a little bit because during World War II, They made a couple bucks when there was so much troop movement from different parts of the country to bases for the sake of shipping out. You know, Ronald Reagan called Amtrak that big engine that does nothing but burn money. So there's a reason for that. The reason is that there's not money, or there'd be private companies in private rail transport. That's why there is a NJ Transit and a LIR and the MTA and all of these government supplemented transport companies that have to be. Well, let's face it, John, you know better than anybody, come here in Summit, Westfield, it is the lifeblood of the economy of a great part of New Jersey, let alone our nation. So let us now, as we did in a bipartisan way and moving forward on this legislation, do in a bipartisan way, working with the administration to make sure that NJ Transit, both rail and bus, and all of our internal transit systems are properly funded. So I hope that's what's our lesson for all of us going forward. God bless you all, and happy holiday season and the blessings of the season to each of you. Thank you.
Well said, man. Well said. That was incredibly well said, in particular the historical context, John. Two quick things. One, you mentioned the working men and women of NJ Transit. And I found myself guilty of this when I was running for office, and I've tried like heck to make sure folks understand crystal clear to the guys like Ray and Ron and their colleagues that we had thousands of folks every day, even in the darkest moments of NJ Transit, going to work every day trying to do the right thing. So the rank and file members strapping it on every morning were our heroes, and they got us, they were the salvation. And so I hope you all think that help is finally here in terms of the leadership, the money, the engineer training, the positive train control actions, et cetera. Secondly, John made an incredibly important point. I'm confident, supremely confident, it won't be tomorrow, not a panacea, I think that's a very good word. We're going to get there. We're going to, that which we can control, we're going to figure it out. So that's management, which is outstanding, the funding, the rebuilding the engineer class, getting PTC not just accomplished as we announced on Monday, but all fully tested. I'm completely confident on all that. I know that we're going to communicate better. This push app that we've got is getting rave reviews. But, and this is the big but, we need help from Washington. We need the Portal Bridge replaced. Any bridge, this just in, any bridge you know you need a hammer to nail it back in every time you close it, not the bridge we need. And we need the Gateway Tunnel built. And we won't get that without federal money. We had an extraordinary meeting of the newly constituted federal delegation last week. Transportation, infrastructure, topic number 1 through 5, all related to why we're here today. So I walked out of that with a real optimism. First time, really, that we have the right team on the field, not partisan-wise, but we have the right team on the field, laser-focused on helping us get the money and the support we need. And nobody lives that more than Congressman-elect from this very district, the 7th. I'm proud to introduce him and ask him to come up, Tom Malinowski.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you all. When I was campaigning for this job, including morning after morning right on that platform down there, folks had a lot on their minds. But ahead of Save Our Democracy, ahead of Restore Checks and Balances, I heard one demand again and again and again: fix the damn trains. That's part of what I was elected to do. That's my charge from them. And Governor, my message to you and to the members of the state legislature and to everybody in the audience is that New Jersey should not have to deal with this challenge alone. Yes, this is partly a problem of our making. We are dealing with that today with this bill and with other steps that you're taking. But it is also the result of decades of underinvestment in our public infrastructure by the federal government. It's the result of year after year after year of Washington taking money from taxpayers in New Jersey and giving us very, very little back. Those are just some of the reasons why we need to get the Gateway Tunnel, the whole project, built. And you mentioned the Portal Bridge. That's where we got to start. It's one of the main sources of delays on New Jersey transit, and it is fully funded. It is fully permitted. It is ready to go. The only thing that is standing in the way is the Department of Transportation in Washington. I've already had a conversation with the Secretary of Transportation to let her know you're dealing with a new Congress. This thing has to get built. We have to start work right now. And more broadly, you may have noticed just about every debate we're having on the national level in Washington right now is about whether we as a country should be building bridges or walls. And my message to Washington as a representative from New Jersey is that in our state, that is not a metaphor. We need bridges, tunnels, roads, railroads. We need to fix things and build things in the states that are driving our economy in this country, not doing stupid things with our resources. With the Congress we have, with the House of Representatives we've elected, we have the leverage now to win that debate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. Amen to that. And we are, by the way, not surprising, we're a Northeast state with a lot of legacy issues. Fourth smallest state in the nation, densest state in the nation. We sit beside the largest market in the world in New York, one of the fastest growing in the South, in Philadelphia. Moving people around has got to be job number one for all of us. Safely, on time, with a pleasant commuter experience. Got a lot of pens to hand. I'll take a couple of questions. Is that all right with Dan Bryan? Okay, John Reinmeyer, where are you? It's your birthday, isn't it?
Yes.
Happy birthday. You get the first question.
Governor,
I'm not sure that's on, but
it's been mentioned already.
Senator Kaine asked if it was off by design. I did not say that, but he did. I want to say that for the record.
Thank you, Senator. It's already been mentioned, the issue of finances. When you ran for office, you talked about a dedicated source of revenue. Obviously, there was some extra money in the budget, the state budget for NJ Transit this year. What's your plan going forward? Are you any closer to creating a dedicated source of revenue or something that was discussed in the audit?
Two things. One is I don't think that's working, but I could hear you. That's the good news. I don't really have anything new to report there. The commissioner and I sat the other day. We are loath to make the commuter bear the burden as the commuter has over the past decade. So we've already committed to no fare increases through June 30th. I'd love to see our ability to extend that, but it's too early to tell. But getting this funded, so the four principles on our side were funding it, leading it, making it safe, and rebuilding the ranks, particularly among engineers, are the four priorities, and we'll make sure that we continue to do that. Anybody else? Is it working now?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Nick.
Hi, how's it going? Quick two things. I think I saw it mentioned in a press release at some point that this is the first overhaul to the management of NJ Transit since its foundation. I just was hoping you could confirm that. And secondly, how do you plan to go about implementing some of these reforms? Do you have a timeline, for example, of expanding the board or the other parts of it?
So the first part, actually, is that true? That's the first overhaul, at least of the governance, right? I think the answer is yes, at least in the governance part of it. And the timeline is we're on it. There's no reason to delay. Kevin, am I right?
Yes, certain things by legislation have certain deadlines.
Yeah.
Months, the 90 days, 180 days, whatever.
You've got some of the road map is laid out in the actual bill, and things that are not, we don't want to let any grass grow. Brandon.
Yeah, hi.
Good morning.
Is this not working?
I don't think it is, but I can hear you. It isn't working?
Oh, you got it.
It's
all
probably
right.
my ears that aren't working.
Okay.
You're good. You're good.
All right.
It is working.
So, first to note, apparently, according to Senators Menendez and Booker, that the U.S. DOT's awarded $6.5 million to Jersey, to NJ Transit, for completing installation of PTC. That just came out this morning.
Okay, that's good news.
But at any rate, yesterday you noted that Reverend Slaughter's nomination to the parole board had been stalled. Are there other nominations that you think should be moving and have not?
I think all of them. We don't nominate people that we're not supportive of and that we don't think would make New Jersey a better, more functioning reality. So I would say everybody. But I happened to be with him yesterday. He happens to be a close friend, and he has enormous passion as it relates to criminal justice reform, reentry, et cetera. The match is perfect.
Could you list a couple? I mean, who else are you waiting to see get confirmed?
I'm sorry?
Who else are you waiting to see?
Literally, we don't put people up and expecting that they don't get confirmed. So everybody that would put forward, we would hope would be confirmed. I'm not trying to be evasive. I literally mean that. So we're not putting them up if we don't want them to get across the goal line.
Senator Sweeney came out this morning and said no tax increases next year. He also said period, full stop at the end. I'd like to know.
You took the words out of my mouth. I want to make sure Mark heard that, Mark. I saw that, period, full stop.
It's like the new favorite phrase in New Jersey.
I'm still getting over the Gene Krupa reference from yesterday, Brent, so you'll forgive me. Listen, there's no question we're a state that has got, for instance, a property tax crisis. I got elected to rescue the middle class, to rebuild the dreams of the folks as I was growing up in working poor circumstances, looking up in hopes one day of getting into the middle class. That's why we're here. That's what we try to do every single day. I want to grow the economy. That's the best way we can achieve our aspirations and make the investments in things like transit and education, which are at the core of the plans that we have to get the middle class back on its feet. I look forward to dealing with the legislature and working that through. Period. Full stop. Anybody else? I want to say to everybody, first of all, what a treat. And again, I want to thank, I didn't give a proper, to Freeholders Bergen, Kowalski, and Estrada, thank you for everything you do in Union County. Mayor, thank you for hosting us. To the extraordinary bipartisan group who have assembled today, to the Congressman-elect, we wish you the very best down there, Tom, and look forward to working with you on transit and well beyond that. Jennifer, again, huge job. To the leadership of NJ Transit, to our union brothers and sisters, Jana, to the folks who advocate, to our environmental advocates, thank you. 1,000 thank yous to everybody in the legislature on both sides of the aisle in both chambers. This is a big day. Again, we're not spiking the football. As Loretta said, this is not a panacea. But as I think Confucius said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. This is not our first step, but this is a big step. And I want to thank the leadership and everybody associated with this. And lastly, I want to echo what John McKeon said and wish everybody a fantastic holiday season and a great 2019. With that, we're going to sign this sucker.
I defer.